fellow travelers, Mark here with Wolters World, and today we're here in Riga, Latvia, and today we're going to talk about are some of the really good cheap destinations that people could go to in Europe. And I want to tell you this first part right here. Look, there's no cheap destinations anymore. There's no places where you can go and 5 cents will get you a beer and $1 will get you a room at night. No, that is not how it works anymore. Like, prices have come up across the board throughout Europe. So what I want to give you here is basically a top 10 list of the best place to go in terms of best bang for your buck, okay? We're talking like, do they have public transportation that's going to get you around? Do they have a lot of sites that you can see that are both paid but also free? Is it easy to get there? Like, are there the EasyJet flights? Is there a relatively affordable way to get there from the US and other places? I mean, this is something you got to think about when you're going to these places, because you're thinking, oh, I'm just going to go to the cheapest place possible. Yeah, you go to Albania, which is totally cool. Don't get me wrong. Albania is really great. Or you go to the backwoods of Lithuania, which is beautiful, but is that really where you want your bang for the buck for? So I'm really going to focus on cities here that you can fly into, whether it's a Ryanair, an EasyJet, a local airline company, take the train there, whatever. And I think one of the big places I recommend people going to is actually Bari in Italy, like Bari in the Puglia region, because most people, when they think of going to Italy and they want to do the beaches, I'm going to go to Amalfi Coast. Yeah, Amalfi Coast is super expensive and packed with tourists. You go to Puglia, you stay in Bari, you have the orecchie, the little ear pasta when you're there, and watch the old grandmas make it. You go see the Norman castle that's there, but also they have fantastic day trips. You go to Alberobello, and they have these Trulli buildings, which are literally the houses. They look like they're like gnome hats. It's so cool to go there. You can go to Madara, which is basically, how would I say this? It's a city where the buildings are built into caves that people have been living for, maybe it's one of the oldest continually inhabited cities in Europe. I mean, it's incredible to go there with the day trips. Pogliano a Mare, the beach town, to go there, it's just fantastic. I mean, you have so many great things to do there, and I'm not joking when I say it is a fraction of the price of going to the Amalfi Coast. Like, I'm not joking. We stayed for 4 nights, and it was the same price as going 1 night at the Amalfi Coast. So be aware of that. Be like, Positano for a night, or 3 or 4 nights in Bari. I recommend that. That's one really great, cheaper destination to go to that's worth it, okay? Number 2 on my list, I have Bratislava, Slovakia. And the thing is, when you're going through Central Europe, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, we can do Budapest, Vienna, and Prague. Well, here's the thing. Budapest has gotten a little bit more pricey over the years. Vienna has always been pricey, and Prague is still doable, which will show up again later on the list. But it's like, hey, is there another destination I could go to? And honestly, Bratislava, when you go there, the people, when you come over from Vienna, you're like, wow, they're so friendly compared to the Austrians. Yes, they are. And the prices are so affordable when you're there, so you can go out and eat, you can enjoy yourself, you can have a fun time, you can go to the castle that's there, you can see the weird UFO bridge. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do when you're there at a fractional price of going and staying in Vienna. So what I recommend, if you're a budget traveler, go to Bratislava and then do the cheap train day trip over to Vienna and see the sights and come back, because you can't beat it. I mean, I can't tell you places where literally one of the locals literally was carrying our sleeping child, you know, while we were walking around in the snow. I mean, there were fantastic people there too. So it's nice, affordable, sights to see, good food, nice people. How could you say no to that? And then, like I said, I was talking about another one, Prague. Now, Prague is probably the biggest city on this list in terms of like famousness, but also in terms of things to do and just world renownedness. Because you'll go there and you'll see Charles Bridge, and you can walk on Charles Bridge. It's free. You can do that. The Old Town Square is probably the prettiest Old Town Square, the prettiest town square just in general in the world. Like, no joke, Prague is like legit awesome for that. But also, when you're going out to eat, your duck and dumplings, you can get a really affordable meal there too, and the beer is affordable as well. And people say, well, no, Mark, it's really expensive. When I ate on the Old Town Square, when I ate on that main drag, I'm like, yeah, like any of these places, if you stay at the square, it's going to be more expensive. If you go like 2 or 3 blocks away from that main street that goes from the square to the Charles Bridge, then up to the castle, yeah, like you will literally maybe half the price of some of the stuff that's there. So you can still have a great time at a great price when you go to Prague. And even if you're doing tours around there, you see the Jewish quarter, you go around on the tourist train kind of thing. It's affordable. Go see a concert, go to an opera when you're there. It's a fraction of the price when you're going to Vienna. So it's like a good bang for your buck cultural experience, okay? And then another Central European gem, this is actually my favorite city to go to in Germany, is Bamberg, Germany. In Bamberg, I was just there a couple months ago, and I'm like, did they not have inflation the last few years? Like, the prices are like the same it's been for the last decade here. Like, the price have really kind of held still in Bamberg. And Bamberg's beautiful. It has probably the prettiest town hall in Germany. Well, that's their old town hall. It's City Hall. It's gorgeous. You can see that. You've got the Michaelsberg, which is basically a big, huge church up on a hill. There's a beer museum there and a beer garden, all kinds of stuff. You know, it's Germany. And the thing is, Bamberg is famous for its beer. So you can have their Rauch beer, there's smoked beer, but there's other beers as well. And when you're there, you got to have the white sausage with the pretzel and the sweet mustard and the smoked beer. It's a must-have when you're there. But also when you're there, there's the cathedral you can go to, there's the residence, like the royal residence that's there you can see, and it's actually affordable to go and do. And that's the thing I like about it. You get so many different like historical parts of the city as you go through. Also, a lot of English spoken there, but when you go there, most of the tourists are actually German tourists. And so like the prices are very affordable. You get a German experience, and it's one of the prettiest cities in Germany. And the thing is, if you're going to go in Munich, you can stay in Bamberg. It's a lot cheaper. It takes some time to get there, like a few hours on the train, but it's worth it. Let's move out of Central Europe and let's move to a little bit sunnier place. And let's go to Cordoba, Spain. Now, when you think of going to Spain, people go, oh, Barcelona, Madrid, let's go to Sevilla, Malaga, Costa del Sol, all those places. Yeah, they're all fantastic. Don't get me wrong. But Cordoba, you get culture, you get history, you get affordable prices, you get great food, you get great people. What more can you ask for? I mean, literally, it's like an hour and a half train ride from Madrid, 45-minute train ride from Sevilla. And when you're there, you have UNESCO World Heritage Site. You have the Mezquita. Basically, there was a mosque, and they built the cathedral in the middle of the mosque, and they have these double archways that are in there. It is just gorgeous to see. And when you're there, there's a Roman bridge that goes across the river. The Juderia district, where you walk around the wandering streets in the Alcazar. I mean, it's just a really fantastic place. I love it so much, I take my students there to do classes because it's such a great time. And if you're there at the right time of the year, you can go for the fiestas that are there, the parties that are there. I mean, you can't beat it. And what's nice, if you compare it to Madrid, or Barcelona especially, or Sevilla prices, it's a lot less. And therefore you get a really Spanish experience. Again, it's like Bamberg. Like not a lot of tourists actually, like international tourists are staying there. They're more like passing through or coming for a day trip from Sevilla, where I would recommend actually staying in Cordoba and doing Sevilla as a day trip or two. But it is a wonderful place. Now, moving west from Spain, we get to Portugal. And I could say Lisbon, because Lisbon still is an affordable destination. Lots of flights going in, lots of stuff there. But I think with the number of tourists that have been there, the price have come up a little bit. Still affordable. I wouldn't put it on my cheap list anymore. But I would say another place is actually Porto. If you go to the north of Portugal, Porto is gorgeous when you're there. You go to the São Bento station and see the azulejos, the blue tiles are there. It's gorgeous. And right by the São Bento station, you got the cathedral you can go see when you're there. And then you can walk down to the Ribeiro district, like the waterfront district, go across the river, that gorgeous bridge. Yeah, you can walk across that. You've got the Gaia neighborhood, or the Gaia city, which is across, and that's where the port wine caves are, and you can do tours there. And there's lots of really good day trips too. You can go to Braga, you can go to Guimarães. Guimarães was like the founding place of Portugal, this stone city you can go to. And so that's why Porto is definitely one of those cheap, really cool destinations, because there's also a lot of those affordable flights flying into there. Now from Porto, let's go north. Let's head to Northern Ireland. And I'm going to tell you, Belfast, Northern Ireland is a place you don't expect to be an affordable destination, but it actually is. Like, it's a cool place to go as well, because the city hall is gorgeous to see. If you're there at Christmas time, they do it up really well at Christmas in Belfast, but there's so many cool sights to see. You can go to the Titanic Museum, and no, it's not Titanic about the movie, it's more the making of the Titanic. You can see that. For me, you want to go to the jail when you're there, and you get to see like how the jail was and how it was, where the people were, the political prisoners were, and all the stuff that was there. It's very interesting, very powerful kind of visit you're going to have when you go there, because you start to learn more about the Troubles. And that's why I recommend taking a tour about the Troubles, seeing the murals on the wall, learning the stories behind them. I mean, it's just a really cool city, and the people are super cool when you're there. And yeah, you get the Crown Pub, which is kind of a touristy, trappy kind of thing, but it's so cool when you get to be inside like one of these closed-up little like walnut rooms kind of thing, like woody rooms. I mean, it's a cool place. But the affordability of going to Belfast, especially if you're like thinking about going to Dublin, my God, your buddy just disappears. Belfast is a way better budget choice. Now, if you hop over from Belfast over to England, Liverpool. Now, Liverpool gets so much grief from the Brits and from the English, like, oh, Liverpool, Liverpudlians, those Scousers, blah, blah. Dude, I'm going to tell you, Liverpool, affordable, good food, super hilarious people. Now, they are nice, but they're in that pick on you like they're your older brother kind of nice. But honestly, the Scousers are awesome when you go there. There's tons of museums to go see. When you just go to the Royal Albert Docks and go around there, you'll see plenty of museums, Liverpool Museum, all kinds of stuff. But the waterfront, when you see the Three Graces, it is gorgeous to see. Because those Three Graces, it's these three fantastic buildings next to each other, next to each other, right on the waterfront. And it's just fantastic. And when you're also there, you know, you can also, obviously, it's the home of the Beatles. Beatles, so you can do a Beatles tour when you are there. But for me, what really makes it pop is really the people. They're so hilarious and they're so funny, and it's such a good time. And when you're there, there's actually 2 cathedrals. You can go to the Church of England Cathedral, and you can go to the Catholic Cathedral, Paddy's Wigwam. I mean, it's just a really cool city that doesn't nail your budget. And since so many people talk bad about it in England, people don't go there as much. So you get to have like kind of the city, not to yourself. I'm not going to say that, but you're definitely not as touristy over touristy as other places. Now, next on my list, we're heading to Transylvania, and we're going to go to Brasov, Romania, or you go to Sighisoara. They're an hour or so away from each other, but both of them are just beautiful towns, beautiful cities you can go to that you really see the Siebenberg and the 7 mountains, like what Transylvania was known for, like the outdoor nature is there, the churches that are there, and it's an affordable place to get to, and they've really done a lot to really help the tourists enjoy their experience there more. And from both of them, you can do a day trip to Bran Castle, which is the Dracula castle kind of stuff, but it is an affordable place to get, and it is really beautiful. And then the last one on my list, a great cheap destination to go to in Europe, is actually here in Riga. Now, Riga, you have lots of the cheap flights coming in here. It's super popular for bachelor parties and bachelorette parties, so have a heads up on the weekends if you're having a few. But honestly, the Art Nouveau buildings, like a third of the old town are Art Nouveau buildings. You walk around and you're just like, oh my God, this is beautiful, and this is beautiful, and this is beautiful. You got the city park right behind me. We can take little boat rides on there. You have St. Jacob's Cathedral, which you can go into. You got St. Peter's Church, which you can go up and have a great view of the city. You have the Occupation of Latvia Museum, which really explains the Nazi and the, Russian occupation of Latvia. Like, you start to understand the city so much better. The Central Market you can go to for that. I mean, it's just a gorgeous city to be to. Oh, the House of the Blackheads. Yeah, you have that where you see the architecture. I mean, it's just a great city to be, but also it's a very affordable city to be. So you can drink, eat, and make merry at a great price. And honestly, all these places on here are fantastic. I know there's other great cheap cities to go to, but I wanted to give you the cities that are easy to get to with good public transportation that travelers can enjoy when they're there, but also get a big bang for the buck. Not just being someplace because it's cheap. Because you want to go someplace because it's cheap, well, then go to your parents' house and stay there with them. You get to have the love and affection, and mom will make you dinner. Save your money right there. But honestly, these are some of my favorite places I've been to, and I've been to all these places, and I swear by this list, these are great, affordable destinations that you can enjoy when you come to Europe. So let us know, what are some other cheap destinations or affordable destinations or good bang for the buck destinations that you know in Europe? Please put in the comment section below so you can help other travelers help their travel dollars, euros, yen go a little bit farther. And I'll say bye from here in Riga, Latvia.